all the success we are experiencing now as Arsenal fans is down to Arsène Wenger. I think we do not really appreciate Arsène Wenger enough, or we don't understand what Arsène Wenger did for this club, right? Let's take it back to when Arsenal decided to move to the Emirates Stadium. It was not a project we were ready for, but at the club we were at that level, we needed extra space. We needed a bigger stadium that matches our status as one of the biggest clubs in Europe. So a move to the Emirates Stadium was needed, but the project, the funds were not there. Now, when Arsenal moved to the Emirates Stadium, it was very, very certain we were going to be in debt. It was certain we were not going to be at the level that we were prior to that move to the Emirates Stadium. We just played our first Champions League final. We just won the league unbeaten 2 years previous. It would have been easy for Arsène Wenger to step down from the club or leave the club, knowing that the club will not be able to compete at the highest level, at least financially. But he stayed at this club. He did not just stay at the club. He was able to use the minimum resources he had then to still put Arsenal in places they can still make more money, right? Be it bringing young players, grooming them and selling them for profits, or making Arsenal qualify for the Champions League, getting the money from UEFA and all that. That was very, very important to how, to Arsenal being where we are now. Because if we were not able to still be at that level, still going for the Champions League once in a while, competing for the league, the players that we had in that moment, we wouldn't have gotten those players, and probably Arsenal would have been in a state that Tottenham are right now. But as Wenger stayed, still continue building the club, buying the player, still generating funds for the club. And when he left, when Arsène Wenger decided to leave Arsenal, I bet you he made plans in place so that Arsenal will not go down that rabbit hole. You guys forget that when Arsène Wenger was about to leave, he first recommended Arteta. Now Arteta was interviewed. Now, from the information I gathered, then Arteta was interviewed. I think Vieira was interviewed. Arteta was the favorite to get the job, but I think if I'm not mistaken, Usmanov was not sure about Arteta because he was still inexperienced. He was just the assistant manager to Pep Guardiola. I think he was just there for a year or two, so they felt he was not experienced enough. That's why we even had Emery in the first place. Emery was not even supposed to be an Arsenal coach, but immediately Emery failed. They did not hesitate to bring Arteta back because that was who Arsène Wenger recommended. It took 2 years for Arteta to really get the grips of what he was supposed to do at Arsenal. But from that moment, Arsenal went uphill. Right? Arsenal started seeing results. Arsenal started progressing, and this is something we don't appreciate enough. You look at Manchester United. Sir Alex has not been at the helm at Manchester United for 13 years, but he's still involved at the affairs of the club. But Arsène Wenger, on his own, decided not to get involved with the affairs of the club. He wanted to, support the club from afar. He would have been tempted to, get probably an executive role in the club, or still be involved in the club one way or the other. But he decided to stay clear from the club, support the club from afar, thus allowing the managers or Arteta to have some sort of control over the club. So I think this is not something we appreciate enough. But I think everything we've been able to achieve now has really boiled down to the blueprints Arsène Wenger set.